a good thing we don't have desire trees, because our hearts are very impure. And we would desire so many things that are actually bad for us. People think, oh, if I get a lot of money, that would be very nice. But then you read the stories of people who win the lottery, and almost always the money destroys them. Why? Because now they can have anything they want, but the things they want aren't really good for them. So they wind up suffering, even though they get some great material advantage, like winning the lottery. But look at these big Hollywood stars, like Britney Spears. I mean, she's so messed up. Why? Because she can get anything she wants. She's 22 years old and has $500 million in the bank. Uh-oh, that's real trouble. So we should understand that religious principles are there. Religion comes from the Latin re ligere, to tie back, to bind back. What are we binding by? The senses. If the senses can act all by themselves however they want, they're going to act just like animals. Animals do whatever they like. If they see something they want to eat, then they jump on it and just eat it. They don't think about if they're causing suffering to another living entity. They don't think about what's the karma that's going to come from this. No, they just pounce. So animals aren't subject to religious principles because they can't control their senses. They have no ability to practice religion, re legera. They can't do that, but human beings can. And so human beings are subject to the principles of religion, which means to bind back or control the senses according to religious principles. And when we do that, we create an auspicious future for ourselves. What's the meaning of auspicious? It means something that indicates that we're going to get good things in the future. That's auspicious. So what is auspicious? When we create good karma. Anything that we do that creates good karma is considered auspicious. That's why religious rituals, offerings, all kinds of different sacrifices according to religious principles are offered in the scriptures as auspicious ritualistic activities to make our future karma better. This is known as karma kanda. Karma kanda means the path of creating good karma for ourselves. So the Vedas give all kinds of different karma kanda activities, from digging wells and distributing food to different religious rituals such as the great sacrifices performed by the Vedic kings and so on and so forth. All for auspicious results in the future. So we should be concerned with the future because after all, we're going to be there someday. It's not that the living entity is just the body, and when the body is finished then the living entity disappears. No. Because the living entity is conscious, and consciousness is a transcendental symptom, that means the living entity is also transcendental or eternal. We're never born and we never die. We're never created, therefore we cannot be destroyed either. So 100 years from now, 1,000 years, 1,000,000 years, 1,000,000,000 years from now, you and I are all still going to be here. And what will we be doing? We will be experiencing the reactions to our present activities. You want to know what the future is? The future is whatever you make it by your activities now. The activities that we perform in this body create the next body that we're going to have. And the ones that we do in that life create the next one, and so on into the future. So the most auspicious activity that we can perform is devotional service to the Supreme Lord. Devotional service means that we perform our activities according to His instructions. And His instructions are given in Bhagavad Gita. And what does He say? Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji magnamaskuru. Think of me always. Love me and offer your obeisances to me. By this constant cultivation of devotional service, surely you will come to me. And this is the most auspicious result that we could ever get from our activities. Well, why is that? Because the Supreme Lord is Anandamaya. He's full of bliss. And when we get his association, we also become full of bliss. Just like if you go to a party where people are enjoying and having a good time, automatically it puts you in a good mood. There's music playing and good food and nice things happening. So everybody that comes into that association also picks up on that mood. So what's going on in the spiritual world? What is God doing? Is he sitting there condemning everyone to hell? No. No. The demigods do that. But what he's doing is simply enjoying. He's enjoying like anything. The spiritual world is an eternal festival. That's how Śrīla Prabhupāda described it. It's an eternal festival of love. And the central figure in that festival of love is Krishna. Krishna means the supreme enjoyer, the reservoir of pleasure, the supreme beloved, Kamadev. He's the supreme Cupid, the supreme lover. So we can understand that his pastimes with his devotees are just like an unlimited ocean of pleasure that goes on and on and on eternally without a break. Day after day, night after night. Without end. That's Krishna. Krishna is the only conception of God that makes sense. Because Krishna means the supreme enjoyer. God is always on vacation. It's not like he has to go, oh, let me go down to the office, I have to go create the material world. You know? He doesn't have to do any of that. He has nothing to do with this material world. The material world is created and managed by his servants. He doesn't have to exert himself. He's simply enjoying. And so that potency of spiritual pleasure, that Hladini Shakti, that pleasure incarnated in this material world is Gadadhar Prabhu. So he is known as the chief of the internal devotees. What does internal devotee mean? It means that their service is primarily within. Their service is primarily in their mood of relationship with the Lord. Some of the devotees, their main service is external, like Srivas Prabhu. Srivas Prabhu is also an incarnation of the Lord as a devotee. But he is the devotee of the devotee. You see? Just like we are devotees of Śrīla Prabhupāda. Śrīla Prabhupāda is a devotee of Bhaktisiddhanta. Bhaktisiddhanta was a devotee of Gaur-Kishore Das Babaji. And Gaur-Kishore was a devotee of Bhakti Vinod. Bhakti Vinod was a devotee of Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, and so on, all the way back to Krishna. So Krishna says, one who claims to be my devotee is not my devotee. One who claims to be the devotee of my devotee, he is my devotee. So Srivas Thakur, he is the greatest devotee of the devotee. Lord Chaitanya is playing the role of a devotee. And so Srivas Thakur is the devotee of the Lord as a devotee. It's a little complicated. But try to understand these relationships. When the Lord incarnates as his own devotee, then he also has devotees who are his devotees. And their relationship with him is that they give him all the necessities for his service. Just like I have several disciples and they try to organize everything so that I have what I need to do my service. My service is preaching. So we find that most of my disciples are also studying to be preachers. So Lord Chaitanya was the greatest preacher in the world. Similarly, Srivas Thakur was a great preacher of Krishna consciousness. And his whole family were all involved in these preaching activities. You move the camera a little bit. Yeah. So Srivas Thakur, he was a very rich man. He had a large compound and a big family. We've talked about these Vedic compounds on the forum before. Like a big walled area, and the men live on the outside, the women live on the inside. And also inside the compound there's the cowshed and the family temple and usually some kind of meeting hall or kirtan hall, kitchens and like that. So in other words, it's already set up for a festival. In Vedic life is so nice.